wrong for telling my new coworker it was misleading of him to be wearing a wedding band when he's a widower? Yeah, I'm already saying you're the asshole and I haven't read this yet. Hi, a couple of weeks ago, we had a new employee hired at the company. He's a good guy and a widower, named James, 36, and to my knowledge, his late wife passed away 8 months ago. I like how she just calls him widower, like that. Leave him alone. Me, 32 female, and the other coworkers got along well with him. However, I noticed that he is still wearing his wedding band on his finger. It kind of confused me a bit and I couldn't help but bring it up to him while on lunch break. We talked and I pointed out that he was being very misleading by still wearing his wedding band when he's a widower. Why does she keep saying that and why is it any of your business? He looked quite bothered by what I said, but I tried to explain that I think that he was giving people the wrong idea or impression about his relationship status since he's technically single and on his own right now. Don't want to sound cruel, but I'm speaking from technical angle. James said that he didn't give it much thought, meaning he doesn't care what people think, and that even if he wasn't wearing his wedding band and some women approached him, he'd still turn them down since he's obviously not interested. Why does this woman care so much about this dude? For some reason, things got awkward and everyone stopped eating and just stared at James and me. I told him I don't know, but that really felt generally misleading of him, as in making people think he is in a relationship, married when he is not, regardless of how he felt about being in a relationship. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with this woman? Like, why do you care if he, like, he's going to work. He's not going there to find out what. Yuck, ew. He got upset, called me rude, and said that I repeatedly disrespected his marriage and his late wife's memory with what I said, and took his stuff and walked away. No shit, like, you're rude as fuck. My coworker said regardless of who was right or wrong, you're wrong 100%. You don't, who the fuck are you? There was no reason for me to bring this up in the first place and cause a scene and make James upset. Now he's not speaking to me and the others who have sided with me. So, am I the asshole? Did I overstep or did he overreact? Like, that's the most insensitive, intrusive thing I've ever heard. Like, who the fuck are you?
How I got caught sleeping with my uncle. So, I usually had a routine of going to my uncle's house about every weekend, because then I'd get to see my cousins and I was able to hang out with them. When I was about the age of like 12, I would say, they introduced me to weed. And I ended up smoking it and I ended up liking it and becoming addicted. I had really bad anxiety at the time, so this really helped with it. So for a couple years forward, I just kept on smoking with them. And then one day, everyone left in the house except for me and my uncle. Me and my uncle were pretty close, I would say. And we had just started bonding and forming more of a relationship as I got older. So he was drinking whiskey and he looked over at me and noticed I was staring at him. He asked me if I wanted to try it and I said okay. So I ended up drinking some, and honestly it tasted disgusting in my opinion, but I liked the feeling of getting drunk. And then I drank more. Part 2 of I got caught sleeping with my uncle. So he ended up giving me a bit of whiskey and I didn't like the taste at all whatsoever, but I enjoyed the feeling of being drunk, so I continued drinking it. So after that, I began getting a little frisky and I leaned over to him and I tried to kiss him. He backed away and asked, "What the hell are you doing?" I told him I wanted to kiss him for whatever reason and he just sat there and paused. After that, he ended up walking away and I was upset. Because why would you reject me? I'm me. Who would reject me? So my plan was to seduce him. The next day, I wore a very revealing outfit, and I decided to make breakfast just for him. I told him he deserved it because he was a special guy and he looked very confused. But he didn't want to be rude and decline the breakfast, so he ended up taking it and saying thank you. Looks like my plan was working so far. Part 3 of I got caught sleeping with my uncle. So after he took the breakfast, I decided that me and him should go on like a little dinner date or whatever. So after that, me and him alone just went on a date, and I started to rub my leg against his leg. He looked confused, but kind of just ignored it. So then after that, we ended up going home, and I decided to kiss him. He pushed me away and told me that this was wrong. But then I kept kissing him, and he just continued to do it back. So, you know, one thing led to another, and next thing you know, we were doing it and stuff. But my mom ended up walking in and let out a huge scream. She was like, "What the hell are you doing with my daughter? You shouldn't be sleeping with her. She's only 15. And he just sat there in shock and didn't really know what to say. So next thing you know, the cops were called to my house, he was arrested, and I was put on punishment. For just a day, because my mom told me that I should have told her what had happened to begin with. Lesson learned, don't sleep with your relatives.
Lost inside a clouded mind, jeopardized what could have been. Oh, yeah, in my head, I can't forget the words you said like yesterday. I am missing those clear blue skies, the smell of coffee beans.